2011, Tottenham erupted in riots that claimed the lives of 5 people and saw over 4,000 people get arrested. The reason behind these riots? The controversial death of 29-year-old Mark Duggan. Hello, my name is Jay Peezy, and today I'm going to look into the situation involving the murder of Mark Duggan by police. Mark Duggan was born on September 15, 1981 in Broadwater Farm, North London. During his childhood, he lived with his Aunt Carol in Manchester. He was the father to 6 children, with the last child being born after Duggan's passing. Duggan's criminal history and gang affiliation has been alleged by many publications, with rumors swirling around that he was a founding member of the North London Star Gang. Unnamed police alleged Duggan as a well-known gangster and that he was well-known to the police in Tottenham. However, Duggan's fiancée Simone Wilson does admit that Duggan was known to the police and that he spent some time on remand. He also had been convicted of cannabis possession and handling of stolen goods. Officers assigned to Operation Trident, which was a police unit set up in 1998 to tackle gun crime and homicide, had Duggan under surveillance. During this time, police said that they had suspected Duggan was planning to avenge the stabbing death of his cousin Kelvin Easton a couple months earlier. According to the Daily Telegraph, Duggan was extremely paranoid around the time of his cousin's death and had to retaliate by the street code of his alleged gang. After his death, the police described Duggan as a drug dealer, an allegation that was denied by family and friends. Metropolitan police officers stopped a cab that Duggan was the passenger in at around 6:15 British Standard Time on August 4, 2011. The area where the cab was stopped had no CCTV coverage, and onlookers were allegedly chased away by police. According to a police officer at the scene, Duggan pivoted out of his cab and pulled a handgun from his waistband. However, the taxi driver's story contradicts this. The car had stopped. Men got out of it very quickly who were carrying guns in their hands. Then I heard the sound of my rear door opening. I saw that Mark Duggan got out and ran. At the same time, I heard firing from the front. I saw shots strike Mark Duggan. He fell to the ground. Mark Duggan only got 2 to 3 feet away from my car when he was shot. At the same time, a man came, and when he opened the door very angrily, he pulled me out by my arm and he dropped me or knelt me down on the ground by the rear tires of my car. Also stated that the police were handling him harshly and were threatening to shoot him if he didn't stop looking at Duggan's lifeless body. The police fired 2 shots, fatally hitting Duggan in the bicep and in the chest. He did not have a gun on him after he was shot, despite the officer's account. Several eyewitness accounts stated that Duggan was shot while he was pinned on the ground by police. Others say that an officer shouted at Duggan to stop, but he didn't listen, or that Duggan was told to put it down several times before he was shot. However, the taxi driver denied any rumblings of a verbal warning given by police before shots were fired. A representative from the Metropolitan Police Federation defended the officer's actions, saying that he had an honest belief that he was in immediate danger and his colleagues of them being shot. One of the officers that surrounded Duggan was shot, with the bullet lodging in his radio. The shooter was an officer only identified as 5'3", and the bullet passed through Duggan's arm and hit an officer, where he was taken to a hospital and released the same night. Unexplained reasons, the police moved the taxi for examination procedures, then returned it to the scene. According to Stafford Scott of The Guardian, IPCC had broken its own guidelines by giving out erroneous information to journalists regarding the shootout involving Duggan and police that actually didn't happen. And its investigation was flawed and in all probability tainted so much that we can never have faith in its final report. I discovered within the community that the minicab from which Duggan was taken seconds before he was shot had been moved from the scene. This was long before the arrival of the IPCC investigators. When I brought this to the IPCC commissioner's attention, she confessed to not knowing anything about it. This was some 2 months into the investigation. We were later informed that the police had wanted to give the vehicle back to its owner, and there was no forensic data on it. It was later revealed that, in fact, forensic and other evidence of major significance in and on the vehicle. We are also told that the IPCC investigators had demanded it be brought back to the scene. Weeks after these revelations, we were told by a very embarrassed IPCC commissioner that her own investigators had sanctioned the removal of the vehicle before they had even reached the crime scene. It took 3 months for this to be revealed. It also took 3 weeks for the IPCC to realize that it had wrongly told journalists that police had been involved in a shootout with Duggan. The police waited a day and a half after Duggan was killed to notify his family, and they apologized for the delay. Ballistics tests on the bullet lodged in the radio on the officer indicated it was fired from a police-issued Heckler & Koch MP5 semi-automatic carbine. The IPCC also commissioned forensic tests and received advice that the firearm was illegal. It was wrapped in a sock, a practice used to avoid leaving evidence if it was fired. On August 9, 2011, the IPCC announced that there was no evidence of the gun even being fired. In November of 2011, the IPCC announced that the gun was found 10 to 14 feet away from the scene. Some eyewitness accounts say that officers were seen tossing the gun over a nearby fence. Even the IPCC initially reported that 3 other officers witnessed another officer toss the gun, but this report was later retracted. Upon further investigation of the crime scene, the sock with the gun inside was found at least 20 feet away from where Duggan was shot. Also, his DNA and his fingerprints were not found on the sock or the gun. There was also no evidence of gunshot residue on Duggan at the time. News of Duggan's death spread quickly all over social media, with international media outlets and public outrage following suit. At around 5:30 British Standard Time on August 6, 2011, Duggan's relatives, along with local residents, marched from Broadwater Farm to Tottenham Police Station, chanting, "We want answers," and requesting police information. But the rioting later spiraled out of control, leading to numerous arrests, injuries, looting, and police cars being set on fire. Duggan's family chastised the chaos.
Trying to get answers. Mark Duggan was her partner and was the man police shot dead in Tottenham last Thursday night. The demonstration that followed wanted answers. The riots that followed wanted something else.
There's a lot of angry people out there. People that don't even know Mark are angry at the way it was dealt with.
Who do you hold responsible?
The police. Definitely the police. My children don't know. Mark's children don't know that he's gone. We can't tell them yet because they're going to be asking questions. We don't have the answers to it.
MPS firearms specialist Anthony Hanley became suicidal and ended his life with a standoff with police on January 30th, 2016 near his home in Wellington. He blames himself for Duggan's death because he recommended the bullets used in his incident. His girlfriend stated that he was haunted by the incident and that he kept seeing dead people. Hanley suffered a mental breakdown 3 months before his demise. After claims of workplace bullying, his psychologist said that he had even reported extreme depression because of this bullying. This case was to be fought in court for over 2 years, with the public distrust of law enforcement growing by the day. December 10, 2013, the jury began deliberating and was asked to cite whether the killing of Mark Duggan was lawful or unlawful. On January 8, 2014, via an 8-to-1 majority rule, Duggan's death was ruled a lawful killing. In a response, Duggan's mother, Pam, brought a case to the High Court for judicial review, citing that the coroner gave legally incorrect directions to the jury. The High Court rejected this case, and they passed the case on to the appellate court, and they rejected the case as well. In March of 2019, the Duggan family filed a civil claim against the Metropolitan Police. The demise of Mark Duggan is seen to many as a blatant cover-up by Metropolitan Police, with many questions left to be answered. Why would they stop a taxi in a place with no cameras? Why would they allegedly chase off onlookers? Why would they even move the taxi? Why would the IPCC retract the initial report of their own officers witnessing their co-workers tossing the gun? To this day, the Duggan family still fights for justice amidst this blatant attempt by the police to sweep their situation under the rug. Thank you again for listening to this documentary on the Mark Duggan situation. Hopefully justice can be restored and people can be found guilty for the actions that they have done. And the Metropolitan Police Station needs to be found guilty, needs to be held accountable for this cover-up, for the spreading of false information, and for the misleading of people, and just for the mishandling of this whole situation. But anyways, thank you again for watching. If you did enjoy this, please leave a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Comment what you would like me to do next. Also share the video wherever you share videos at. Turn on my post notifications so you don't miss an upload. But anyways, thanks again. Be safe, stay on the grind, and have a great day. I'm out. Peace.